And oh, we didn't put any shading on the foot, so we should put a little bit of, throw some shading down on this little foot area. Foot starts back here, actually. That. And a little highlight toward the back of that foot. And we can kind of tone down that highlight on this foot with the kind of dirty tip of the blender tool. Just, go back and forth. Lighten, darken, until you get like the correct degree of shading that you want. I'm gonna just throw some shading on the mannequin's stand. And it looks like the front of the stand has darker shading. So overall, I'm gonna just make that a little darker. Okay. And then there seems to be some sort of a shadow right here on the stand. Kind of like a little funny shape shadow here. So if you see it, the rule is in my class, if you see it, draw it. If you don't see it, don't draw it. So if you see it, you have to draw it. I'm just going to take my little B pencil here and kind of clean up the edges of this platform. There's like a little bevel, little angle right here on this edge, which is kind of a little extra detail you might want to capture or not. But I see it, so I'm going to draw it. These blenders, like a set of like some jumbo to tiny paper blenders, are definitely worth the investment. It's about $3 or $4, but you can use them for a long time. How do you clean a blender? Get a little piece of sandpaper and you just kind of roll it at an angle and basically wear away the dirty parts of the blender, and that's how you renew your blender. You don't throw them away when they get a little bit dirty. You actually clean it by using an abrasive like sandpaper and just kind of wearing away the dirty parts. So I'm taking an HB pencil and I'm going to put a core shadow on the arm right here. And it kind of goes diagonally across the front of that arm. Blend it. Where do I see a core shadow on this part of the arm? I see it kind of on the right half right here. So I'm going to put some core shadow right there. I also see a core shadow right here on the elbow. Okay, little details like this little screw here that can really make things very realistic. I see the little slot right there, and right below it is the shading for the actual arm. So let's make the core shadow on this lower arm here a little bit darker. Let's increase the contrast on that and put a little shading on there. Okay, I'm going to take the kneaded eraser and I'm going to erase up a little bit of reflected light on the underside of the arm. Alright, there's a kind of interesting shadow here on the hand, so I'm going to draw that little shadow here. It's also kind of dark right here. I'm going to take my 2B and put a kind of a dark shadow right here and here as well. Bit of a dark shadow right there. The shadow cast on the little knee portion here. And here is that little slot in the wood. Okay, take the 2B pencil, draw the little slot here. And then there's a little detail of the screw. This is definitely dark here. The little detail of the leg joint here. Overall, there's a core shadow right here. Up here, it's a little bit lighter. There, so I just highlighted that a little bit up here. little shadow right here. Okay, and then there's the tiniest little, tiny sliver of light right here. Just use a corner of my eraser and maybe go back in with the blender and then darken that up again. Okay, how do you do the little pole and make it metallic? What I would use is whenever you're shading anything that's metal, there's a series of stripes, really dark reflections that are just reflected in this little metal pole. You see kind of like this dark shape down here, so whatever you see, just draw it. Okay, and clean up your edges. If you want to put a simple background in, I do see the edge of my tablecloth. I might want to put that in there. And if I wanted to, I guess I could make the rest of this background here really dark. And I'm going in with a 4B. You could use something as dark as a 6B, and I'll do that. But you don't have to do this as part of the assignment. I'm just going to do that to add a little bit more drama to my work. And what this is going to do is really make my mannequin stand out from the background. These graphite pencils, the all woodless graphite pencils, are so very dark. But because they're graphite, they're very brittle. So if you end up, with your hand while drawing, snapping it in half, that's perfectly normal. But you can just use pieces.
Are you done?
Almost.
So
How about when I'm talking about the mannequin? Okay.
now put your arms out and let's see.
Extra cookies for subscribers and people who like our video.
Lahi, out of the way.
Before I eat all the cookies.